Imagine yourself a few years down the road, having children or grandchildren, and you're getting ready to send them off to school. Would you want them to meet new friends and have a social life, or would you rather keep them at home, stuck with you or your significant other, teaching them yourself? Think of them sitting at home while all the other kids are participating in music class and art class and interacting with their classmates. Think back to your first day of school. You were probably so excited that you didn't sleep the night before. You had your new outfit and shoes on, and your backpack was filled with new school supplies. Your teacher had a big grin on her face as she was ecstatic to meet you, and all the other kids couldn't wait to play with you. What if you didn't have any classmates and your teacher is one of your parents? Think back to all the memories in high school, good or bad, that helped shape you to become the person you are today. Your life would be totally different if you were homeschooled your entire life. Parents should not homeschool their children for many reasons. I'm going to talk to you about the negative effects associated with homeschooling and the solutions to this problem. According to the U.S. Department of Education, in the most recent study found in 2007, said that 1.5 million parents homeschooled their children. The U.S. Department of Education also states that more white students were homeschooled than Black, Hispanic, or any other racial group. White students constituted the majority of the homeschool population, being 77%. According to a family educator, the most common reasons parents gave as to why they homeschooled their children was a desire to provide religious or moral instruction. This reason was followed by a concern about the school environment, such as safety, drugs, or negative peer pressure. Parents also had dissatisfaction with academic instruction, family time, finances, travel, and distance. However, no matter how hard parents try to keep their kids safe and away from drugs or negative peer pressure, those things will always be there. Sheltering your child throughout their youth is more than likely going to lead to more problems than it is avoiding them. By the time a child becomes a young adult, they are going to want to venture off, make their own memories and mistakes. Parents cannot teach their child to be perfect. However, they can teach them good morals by being a positive influence and a good role model. According to education.gov, homeschooling leads to less socialization for children. Being isolated at home leads a child to feeling bored and lonely. Friendships in school help them learn the importance of sharing and being there for one another. Homeschoolers often become increasingly dependent on their parents. Being schooled at home, they are isolated from the exposure traditional schools give. Since they spend every day at home with their parents, they aren't learning to solve their own problems. At school, work is done either in groups or individually, which is helpful to their socialization skills and learning to work with one another. One of the most critical impacts of homeschooling on children is limited social interaction. In a traditional school, students are exposed to children from diverse cultural backgrounds. Homeschooling lacks this aspect and hence may prove to be detrimental to the development of interpersonal skills. Schools give children the opportunity to participate in debates, sports, and other competitions. They expose children to the real world. In homeschooling, school remains confined to the home, thus limiting the social, emotional, and psychological development of children. Homeschooling not only has a negative effect on your children, but also on your budget. According to an article found from Education in Schools, adults have less time to work, leading to a lower income. For married parents, one partner often forgoes full-time employment out of their home. This can be a big sacrifice for families who are struggling financially. Surprisingly, most homeschooling families believe that the brief loss of income is well worth the satisfaction of watching their kids grow and learn in freedom. There are many costs that go along with homeschooling. Every year, parents have to buy all the books, curriculum, and school supplies their children will need, not to mention the added grocery expenses. These things all add up and become very expensive over time. The distractions a child might face at home are endless. While at home, there are many other things going on in a student's mind. For example, when I have homework to do, there are many distractions such as a TV, social networking websites, or other family members that are around. Where is the quiet time or space to get away from all the distractions? Schools prepare children to face the fierce competition that one is exposed to in real world. However, homeschooling does not give them a chance to compete with other kids. They are also unaware of where they stand among their peers. The competitive spirit that is developed in traditional schooling is more or less absent in a homeschooling environment. This may affect the future lives and careers of children. Homeschooling does not give students the competitive edge of wanting to be the best, which our society revolves around today. According to the U.S. Department of Education, studies show that students who are homeschooled generally don't participate in sports or clubs. With that being said, homeschoolers do not understand the concept of working together to achieve a common goal, which is something everyone needs to know by the time it comes to working on the job. Now that you know the problems associated with homeschooling, let's look at the solutions. To solve all problems, there is one easy solution: making the decision to send your child to school. This resolution is very workable and practical, because going to a public school is free, there are bus systems to get you there and back, and it helps children become more socialized. The only problem with this solution is that it isn't always desirable by parents. Overall, public schooling is the best for children and their futures. The competitive society that we live in today relies on adults who know how to work together and communicate effectively. Being in a school that can join sports teams, play in the band, and interact with others. It is very vital to them in a way that their future self depends on it. The benefits of a child attending a public or private school outweigh homeschooling for many reasons. Now that you know all the problems associated with homeschooling and the best possible solutions, I hope you make the right decision to help your children or grandchildren become more socialized, competitive, and successful in a group setting. Though homeschooling has some benefits, it does not match up to the positive influence of schools on the overall development of children. When it comes time for you to decide your children's education, think back to your first day of school. It may have been a little scary, but you created friendships that will last forever, you got to interact with classmates and teachers every day, and you learned to work and communicate with each other. Just try to picture them sitting at home with you, while all the other kids are at school making art projects and going on field trips. Think about yourself when you were a kid. What one would you rather do?